game's fun.
Welcome to the game of
I'm just kidding. You know I talk way more than that. We have fun. We have fun here at Game of Jones. No, but real talk. Let's strap on our Skrateboard. Guys, let's just gush. Let's just gush about this fun-ass game. And not only that, I'm not going to tell you what you already know. Chances are, at this point, if you've clicked on a video about Rollerdrome, you know that it's super fun. I'm more interested in the why of things. Why is Rollerdrome so fun? Let's talk. Let's talk about it. And I'm going to start off in an area that you didn't think I would. Sound. Even though this game has a much more arcade-like quality to it, it didn't stop the developers from providing more atmospheric touches that more cinematic games are known for. And a big part of this said atmosphere is the sound direction. Yeah, you want to play right now, don't you? Don't even cap. Don't even cap. The sparse, isolated footsteps through the locker room, transitioning not just from a sound perspective, but from a visual perspective, the first person to the third person. You hear those wheels steadily rolling, the crowd outside hooting and hollering, and then that soundtrack swelling in. Ooh! That's when I knew this game was going to be special. Then when you get into the arena, if the visual cues aren't enough to cue you in and telegraph everything, the feedback from the sounds convey everything you need to know. And during this cacophony of gunshots and grinding on the rails, you hear this wonderfully cohesive soundtrack. It fits so well with the tone of the story and the art direction. It feels like a classic, gritty 80s film or a Nicholas Winding Refn film if you've ever seen Drive. There's really not much to add here. You know, it's not a focal point as this is a more arcadey game, but I just want to give credit where credit's due. It's a little bit more cinematic than I thought this type of game would be. And this moody synth pop as the backing soundtrack, it's always been cool, it'll always be cool, fits it nicely. I'm a fan. And since I mentioned the story briefly in the sound portion of this video, let's get back to that. The story of Rollerdrome is a gentleman. It doesn't force itself on you. It's similar to Dark Souls in the storytelling aspect, and I love that. Particularly when the game is far and away more concerned with its gameplay, and we'll get to that. I wrote that before this portion, and I realized it was the longest portion of this video. I had to put it later. Future Sam's gonna have a dang old ball and biscuit rewriting this shit, ain't you, brother man?
Yep.
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 Yep. Alright, we're finally here. We're at the visuals portion of the video. And that's what you would notice first about this game, is the graphics. And at this point, you're thinking, hold up, Sambo. You're talking about what made this game fun. You said we were going to talk about what made this game fun. Sound, story, visuals, that ain't have nothing to do with that. But that's when your dumb ass is wrong. And I guess while I'm insulting you, I'd love to ask you to click subscribe and or like. Not and or and like. Do both of them, damn it. Anyway,
Graphics.
the graphics of this game evoke this nostalgia from me from the cell shading era. Obviously, you're gonna draw some parallels to Jet Set Radio Future. Everybody and their mama gonna be talking about Jet Set Radio Future when they talk about Rollerdrome. But the similarities between these games begin with the visuals and end with the corporate takeover story beat. But if you don't have a big old nostalgia boner for these high contrast, no gradient visuals, then what do these visuals offer you? I'm glad you asked. At any point, these super stark visuals offer you all the information you need to form strategery. And this especially comes in handy on the New Game Plus mode, Out for Blood, which I've beaten.
No big deal.
But I need to save the Out for Blood talk for the gameplay portion of this video.
Surprise,
Yeah, the visuals are striking, but the gameplay is it's pummeling. It's in your face. It's overwhelming. And that's not just to say that it's great, but it's how I would describe the most difficult moments in the game. Yeah, I'd say, in general, the game has a great relationship with difficulty. The rollout of these enemies is paced really well, where in the beginning, you're faced with these bozos. We're gonna call them bruisers, because I don't know what they're called. And it rhymes with losers.
Skrateboard.
Bunch of bitches. They just dawdle. And yeah, like, you can come in swinging distance of them and they'll swing their club at you, but you are constantly in motion in this game. And you have exclusively ranged weapons, so this establishes these guys as health pinatas. As tough as this game gets at times, it's nice to have these super easy enemies acting as medkits in the chaotic moments. The other enemy that they roll out towards the beginning is this jabroni.
Who's this jabroni?
Well, I'll tell you who that jabroni is. That is a sniper. Because he snipes. Obviously. And they're not too tough in and of themselves, but in the middle of the more chaotic moments, they've gotten me a few times, just because there was so much going on. These snipers' attacks are telegraphed by a red line that is aimed at you. Towards the beginning, you're going to see that red line and dodge it immediately, just to lose the dude. And that's viable. If you a little bitch. Something you will have noticed at this point is that you're automatically locking on to things in your range. L2 in most shooters is used to aim down the sights. And it's used to aim in this game, but the function of it is different. It slows down everything. Now if you just wait a spell, that red line's gonna turn white. Now if you dodge at that time, you're gonna have yourself an opportunity at super reflex time. Now at this point, boy, if you don't go Dante on they ass, I'ma smack you. In super reflex time, when all the colors drain out, you get a damage boost. I think it's 50%, I don't know. Later on in the game, things are gonna get hairy, and you're going to want to depend on that damage boost from the perfect dodge. You're gonna be looking for that white line. You're gonna be begging that sniper to try and shoot you, because you're gonna want that damage boost. So these snipers present a high risk, high reward mechanic. And at this point, you start seeing these enemies not only as things that yield health for you, but they also can enable damage boosts, and you start looking at them as tools in your arsenal. You need these. And as the game progresses, you're introduced to more enemies and more weapons with which to cap they ass. The riot shield guys get clapped by the slug shots from your shotgun, and the rocket launcher bros, you gotta take those guys' health down fast. Can't pause at all, or else they're gonna deploy a force field. It's gonna be a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. If you slow things down in super reflex time, empty a clip of the pistols into them, they're dead. But later on, you get this charging rifle, and if you fully charge it, you kill them. No super reflex time needed. The mechs are the rocket launcher's forte. You get it. You come up with these formulas in your head of how to beat them based on how much ammo you have at any given time. Now, how do you get more ammo? Whoa, holy crap, I forgot this was a skating game. It's a skater, it's a shooter, it's a shooter. Let me try and do a trick. Oh, I heard the chunk sound. I know that from Halo, I know that. I got more bullets now. I got more bullets, I'm happy. It's such a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? This makes stylish play a necessity. The decision to omit wipeouts, the possibility of losing balance and falling over, the omission of that was the right call, 100%. Falling off balance in this game would kill the flow and undermine the essence of this scooter. There is so much shit happening all at once, and especially like to an egregious degree later on in the Out for Blood New Game Plus. And the possibility of face planting in the middle of all of this craziness, it wouldn't work. And speaking of the Out for Blood mode, now it's time to talk about it. Well,
What the actual is going on? I can't keep track of all these lasers and rockets and bullets and landmines and mechs and jetpack men. Help! Help! I can't breathe. I need help. Just give me oxygen.
yeah, it's really just something you gotta experience for yourself. At this point, I think it's a good idea to quickly touch on the replayability. Now, as you can see, this game offers a daunting in-game experience that really rewards those with the testicular fortitude to stick it out. You know, the freak shows. They look at this and they go, oh yeah, dude, yeah, that looks awesome. Yeah, just f me up, dude. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just put cigarettes out on my nipples and tattoo "You died" on my balls? Okay, it's a good thing. This game, you don't have to tackle the hard mode or anything, but it's built with that extra room in the skill ceiling so that if you manage to reach those heights, you get bragging rights. Not much in the way of tangible rewards, but intrinsic satisfaction, where the journey itself is the reward. Again, this is a game where you don't just kill your enemies. You cap them mid-breakdance, moonwalk over to the other one, spank them, and you turn around and wink at the camera. Okay, you don't exactly do all that, but you gotta kill these guys with style. And in case you didn't already figure it out, I freaking love Bayonetta and Devil May Cry. And I'd venture to say that if you like those games as well, you're gonna find some value here. Sometimes, in this industry that seems to be prioritizing cinematography and storytelling more than it ever has been, it's nice to have a throwback arcade-style game that serves as a reminder, just says, hey, I understand that we love our deep stories and our Oscar-worthy performances, but sometimes you just need simple, stylish fun. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to the game of Welcome to the game of